What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Close More podcast, sponsored by iSales CRM. My name is Roger Rodriguez.
And I'm Carlos Correa.
Today, we're going to be talking about A2P 10DLC, why it's so important, and why you should register your business so that there's no impact on your text deliverability rates.
A2P 10DLC is kind of that invisible elephant in the room. Nobody really knows about it, but it is a big deal. It's something that's happened in the past few months, kind of dragging its feet with the carriers, but it is a major change within the industry. So if you're using a communication platform, this is a must-watch for you. Go ahead and please subscribe and hit that like button for us. It'll keep you updated with any other videos that we may have as well. So Roger, I know you and I, being that we work for a communication platform, have been really in tune with everything that's happening with A2P and how it's affecting our clients. A lot of people don't know what it is. So again, that's kind of the point of this episode. Now, A2P stands for Application to Person. 10DLC stands for 10-digit long code. So in short, if you're using an application with a 10-digit phone number to communicate with the person, you're gonna have to register. Now, there's different sides to this, right? So the good thing is your deliverability rate is going to go through the roof. You're going to be registering as an actual business with these telecom providers or these different types of providers. Now, what that's going to do for you is it's going to make you a legitimate business. Now, this was created to essentially separate those businesses from the spam, right? So your We Buy Junk Cars, I'm sure everybody has an auto warranty, at least one or maybe 10 by now. It's kind of just to eliminate all of those, right? So we're going to go over what it is, what some of the fees are, and some of the next steps in order to do so.
Yeah, and A2P 10DLC really refers to the system in the United States that allows businesses to send application to person type messages via standard phone numbers. So exactly what Carlos was just talking about. From this year moving forward, service carriers require businesses that send text messages to their customers to be registered in the National Registry.
Now, with this comes a few certain aspects of it that aren't that attractive, right? There's going to be carrier fees. Now, these are going to vary by carrier, right? So AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, they're all going to have different fees, right? So we have those fees for you. Again, things can change, but as of right now, they have publicly listed some fees. Now, some people may say, well, why am I paying for text messages? I'm already paying for a platform for that. Well, it's because of the carrier, right? So they're the ones that are collecting these fees, but in turn, they have promised to make sure that your text messages are being delivered at a way higher rate. So we have some of those fees for you. You know, A2P is going to be something that is definitely happening, right? So it's not maybe, it's actually here right now, right? So with those fees, you're going to have fees as low as 0.002, and they go as high as 0.005, depending on who you're using. We'd like to say on average, just because of the numbers, you're looking at probably at 0.003 per text message that you send out, right? So basically a fraction of a penny per text. So those are some of the fees that are coming out. In addition to that, when you register, you'll have a $10 a month registration fee affiliated with your business. Now that's going to be a part of that registration with A2P. And then in addition, you have those carrier fees. Now we keep talking about fees, which normally scares people, but this is looked at as a positive thing in our industry because a lot of these platforms out here, I'm sure you get a lot of blocked text messages, a lot of messages that don't go through. This is going to eliminate that. As long as you register your business, it will go through. And that is definitely the positive aspect of A2P 10DLC.
Of course, and this is really going to legitimize your business, and it's going to give you a good reputation score, which is going to increase your deliverability rates. And of course, this will impact your bottom line depending on the amount of messages you send out.
So a lot of people ask, at least in our industry, is, do I have to register? Is this something that I have to do? And the short answer is yes. Eventually, yes. Right now, some people are slipping through the cracks because it's very new. But if you are sending messages out to a consumer to market some sort of product, you will have to register. There's no way around it. It's gonna happen, right? There's no way around this. So yes, in short, you do have to register. When, that's kind of up in the air right now. So the registration process is gonna be pretty easy from what we understand. You'll fill out a simple form with basic information. So your first name, last name, email, your business name, if you do have an LLC, maybe a tax ID number. So that all that type of information is going to be required. Now, that's to legitimize your business, right? To make sure that you indeed are not a robot or spam. So those are some of the criteria that will be asked, and whatever communication platform you're using should make that pretty seamless for you to sign up. When is that going to happen? Up in the air, right? So we encourage everyone to do their own research, do some Google searches on A2P 10DLC, but we'll provide you with as much information as we know. It is a pretty hectic time for anybody in this space because we're getting information literally day by day, right? We might have not known something that we found out yesterday, last week, right? So it is very new, and we thought we'd get on top of the ball and just produce something for you so that you can be more informed.
Yeah, and businesses that fail to comply or register will see messages dropped, and they will be subject to, I guess, harder SMS spam filtering.
Right. So if you don't register and you say, you know what, I'm going to be rogue, I'm just going to go ahead and not register. I don't want to put my business out there, whatever it is, you may get away with that for a little while, but what's going to happen is your deliverability is definitely going to suffer, because now you're not looked at as a business. You're just looked at like a rogue person using a communication platform, which in turn means your messages aren't going to go out, which also translates into less contact with your prospects, less of an ROI, higher CPA. It can start this whirlwind of effects by simply not registering. So change is always scary in any aspect of life, but especially with business. But with this, it's something that should be embraced. It's something that you should be excited about, because now you're not going to be just some robot or some spam. You're a legitimate business sending out marketing messages to your clients. So that's the main thing that we're trying to get across to everybody, is that this is a good thing, right? There's fees, of course, but this is a good thing, right? So I know that ourselves, with our company, with iSales CRM, something that we've done to help our clients is we've cut our prices in half, right? So we took a hit with our margins to make sure that nobody really feels these carrier fees. So that's something that we've done with iSales CRM. Not sure if a lot of companies are following suit, but being that we really value our clients, that is something that we decided to do as a company. So we're cutting our prices in half. You're going to have those carrier fees, but you'll still be paying a little less, right? So that just goes hand in hand, with those carrier fees, and that's something to keep in mind. But if you're reaching more people, if more of your messages are going out, it's a good spend. It's a great business spend, because you're going to have a higher contact rate. People ask, when is it being implemented? When did this come out? It actually came out a few months ago. It came out March 1st. I believe that was when the first carrier started implementing fees. June 1st, a couple of other carriers started implementing fees. And from our understandings, again, it's just speculation at this point, but registration should occur around July, right? So you should start seeing a lot of these registration forms come out, how people are going to handle it, how companies are going to handle it to pass on to their clients. We don't really know yet, right? But it should be something very simple from what we understand, a one-time simple form that you fill out, and then you're registered, right? You're registered with A2P 10DLC, and you should see your deliverability go through the roof. Now, there's gonna be something called Trust Score. Now, Trust Score is where the carriers are going to grade you. They're going to grade you based on the type of messages you're sending. So there's still a little bit of regulation there, right? So just because you're registered doesn't mean that you can spam everyone, right? So you're still going to have to be compliant to a certain degree, of course, with all your messages. And based off of the type of message you're sending, you'll receive a trust score, right? The higher your trust score, the less your carrier fees are going to be, and the more of your messages that are going to be delivered. So all in all, just make sure that when this time comes, that you're doing your best to be compliant with these text messages, because it's only going to help you in turn. It's going to save you money, it's going to get you more contacts, and it'll give you a higher trust score, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, and your trust score combined with the campaign type is going to determine the message throughput that the carrier allows, and that'll be allocated to your campaign use case. And I think that's a great segue into what a campaign is.
Yeah, so a campaign is going to be technically a person, right, or an individual or an account within a company, right? So a company will register. So if you're a subcontractor of a company, whatever it is, you would be considered a campaign or a use case, right? And that's where you would register under that company. So, you'll have different types of scores, different types of labels when you're using these platforms. That is essentially what a campaign is. And if Roger wants to touch on that a little more as well.
Yeah, there are standard campaigns, special campaigns, and there's also additional campaigns. So it's important that you take the time to really look into what your business does and reaches out to customers for. That way you can select the correct campaign.
Absolutely. Now, there is a question a lot. Should you be worried about this? If you're a legitimate business, absolutely not. It's something that you should be happy about. You should embrace. You know, the only people that are worrying about this are, again, those auto warranty companies. We buy junk cars. You know, we pay cash for houses. Those people are in trouble, right? Because they usually use some sort of system where there's not really a person behind it. They have a giant contact list and they're just spamming everyone. They should be worried, definitely. Exactly. If you're a legitimate person, a legitimate business, you're conducting and selling a product, you know, that's going to benefit people, that's not a scam, this is great for you. This is the best news that you've heard. Now, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, it's a little weird, right? Because change is always scary. It's always uncomfortable, but we'll get through this. You'll get accustomed to it. You'll start reaping the benefits from it. And it's something that you'll definitely, you know, be happy to have. So this is, again, just kind of our introductory show here, or podcast episode of A2P 10DLC. A little bit of what it does, a little bit of what it is, a little bit of what it's going to cost you. As we learn more, we'll continue to produce more content for you, which is why I want you to subscribe. Make sure you like the video. You'll get notifications every time we do a new video. We plan to do this quite frequently to keep everybody in tune with the changes. But all in all, this is a good thing. This is a good thing for your business. And it's going to help you get a better contact rate with your prospects, which in turn, better ROI, lower CPA. So that's all that I have for you. Roger?
That's it from us, guys. Really do appreciate your time, and welcome back to the Closed Mode podcast. Can't wait to send out more content.
We'll see you next time, guys.